So
Yes.
last weekend went to Seneca Lake and Geneva, New York State.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend. Lots of wineries, beautiful lake. But if you go Geneva, New York, there's a speakeasy. Very cool. Got to check it out.
What's the password to get in?
There was no password, but you just have to
Swordfish.
Swordfish. Yeah. Hey, welcome back to Screen Time. And Jered, how do you sweep 3 missing people under the rug?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Or how did lying to the police go?
Also a good question.
Or it kind of feels like you're trying to sleep with me.
I don't remember that one. Wait, who says that in this episode?
That is from the main timeline.
Okay. Oh, I do remember
Like
her saying it to him.
her saying it to, because he's all about it, because he's like, oh, I'm married to
Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly's character, but I'm trying to remember what don't have it written down, what her character's name in it.
I don't know.
But anyway, it's the Jason number 2, or the evil Jason.
Yes.
Like he's in the main timeline with her, and like he's being very flirty or flirtatious, and she's like, I feel like you're trying to sleep.
That's right. I remember that.
Anyway, my name is Josh, and Jered here, my co-host.
A movie ending is a strange thing. You know it's coming, and yet you spent all this time laughing, crying. You're surprised when the credits roll.
Yes. That was a very good line.
Yeah, it was.
So today we are discussing, and my lines were from Dark Matter episode 3, but also we both finished up Sugar, so we're going to talk about that a little bit too. But before we get into those, we'll discuss a little bit of other things we've been watching. So what have you been watching, Jered?
Okay, I don't have a lot.
He says that every time.
Yeah,
And then yet the time code doesn't lie.
Is mine normally longer than yours? Actually, I shouldn't be surprised by that. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Yours was about last week. It was about 16 minutes long.
What?
Yeah. And then my sections is 4 minutes long.
No way.
Yes, the time code.
That sounds like the numbers are...
I do update the time code like each week. And so I still have the time codes from last week.
Those numbers sound inflated.
This is not an election.
You know what? Yeah, I know. You know what? I did have a lot last week.
I don't remember what you had last week, but
I don't remember, but I did. Yeah.
But the numbers are there.
The numbers don't lie. Okay, I'll be brief.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, I know. I do only have 3 this time.
Okay.
For sure, 3.
Is that counting Sugar or not?
Not counting Sugar, but we're going to talk.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what else do you watch besides Sugar?
So the first one is the show Outer Range on Amazon. This is a show that has not been on in like over 2.5 years. Been waiting a long time for season 2. But I liked the show a lot when it came out. Josh Brolin is the main actor.
Okay.
Which is cool because...
Like him?
Yeah, he's great. And I think this is the only show he's done, I want to say. And it's a really cool premise because it's basically a Western, but with some mystery and a little bit of sci-fi thrown in.
That's cool.
Which is, pretty unique. Not just from Josh Brolin, the other people in it too. I can't remember the girl's name. She looked familiar. The main girl that's in this as well. But all the acting in this is very good, and the way the characters interact with each other. I mean, the dialogue's good anyway, but the way they interact with each other, I think, is really solid in this. And the mystery is interesting. Yeah, I'll just say won't spoil anything. This is just the premise of the show is, yeah, he's on a ranch, and he just finds this black hole in the ground in the middle of like where a lot of his livestock is.
Oh, okay.
And that's the start of it, but there's a lot of crazy stuff happens, but
That's cool.
yeah, it's cool. This season is shorter than the last season, which anytime I see that, I'm a little worried that like they're like, oh, this is it. You know?
Could be from the writer's strike though and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. I guess they would have maybe done that around then.
Which is also probably why it took so long.
Yeah, that I just figured just because Josh Brolin's just
Busy.
yeah, he's still doing a lot.
Yeah, I mean it could be that, but like basically there's a lot of things that take way longer to come back from because of the actors and the writers strike and like everything kind of combined. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know you since we just did No Country for Old Men recently. Kind of similar character to that he's playing.
Okay.
But very different of a show than that movie. But yeah, I'm still excited for the show. I haven't watched much of it yet, but I'm just glad it's back because it's been a long time. So I wanted to mention that, and then The Big Cigar on Apple.
Okay.
Did you watch it?
No, I did not watch it, but
Okay.
I mean I've seen the trailers.
That's another one I was looking forward to. I like stuff set in the 70s anyway, especially when it's done well, which this is. I didn't know this was a true story or based on a true story. And it's a really interesting premise. Basically, it's hard to explain. You saw the trailer at least, right? Did you?
Yes.
Okay. Basically, so it's about the leader of the Black Panthers, but in order for him to escape America,
Mm-hmm.
he like he hooks up with like a Hollywood producer, and somehow through this movie production that they're doing, he like they're doing a real movie, but then they in secret are doing this fake movie and filming it, and as a way for him to escape
Okay.
through this movie. I haven't watched much of it yet. I don't know how that all transpires, but it's a cool idea. Yeah, and it's the other thing I saw was because I just watched just the first episode, but the director was Don Cheadle, so that was cool.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he's ever directed anything before. He's not in the show, he's not acting, but yeah, he directed the first one. Yeah, at least, but
That's cool.
yeah, it's a cool premise. Yeah, it's good so far. I gotta watch more of it. But the big one, number 3, my last one is Challengers. The movie.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Because it
Came
came
on
out
VOD.
yeah, quicker than I thought it would, because I thought it was gonna be in theaters for a while. And
Yeah, I heard Fall Guys coming soon too, which is
yeah,
a surprise.
sooner than I thought as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta watch that. I have not watched that yet. But
Yeah, I'd watch it again.
yeah.
Like so much fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it. Yeah, no, Claudia and I actually were going to go to the theaters to see Challengers, but then I saw that it was already out on VOD. But it did really well in theaters, so I thought it would stay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has to do with, do they do that ahead of time? I thought normally if it's doing well, they normally hold off on.
Yeah, no, I think it's play it by ear a little bit after, but
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna look at my notes because I have a lot to say about this movie. So the film is over 2 hours long, and you're fully engaged the whole time.
okay.
It's very good. The dynamic with the 3 characters, was really compelling, especially, well, also Zendaya. Also, I think she's like one of the best young actresses right now, and she's great in this, like she is in everything. The two guys are good too. Didn't recognize them, but apparently they're kind of big now. I don't know. I see a lot of people talking about them, but I didn't. I haven't seen them in anything.
Yep.
But and the ending of the movie, I'm not spoiling it, but just want to say that the ending, they stick the landing with the ending so well, which we talk about a lot. Where that's not always easy to do. And it really makes you question not only events that happen in the movie, but what the specific final scene even means.
Okay.
But it's done really well. And it's like really the movie is just about tennis and these three people. So, but the director, which he normally does like really weird, like art type movies. And this movie is very commercial. Like it's just like a normal movie. It's not like, so it's awesome that he did this, but it's, yeah, it's great. And I want to say Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross with the score is so good in this. It's like, it's almost overwhelming. And I guarantee the director wanted this. Like the score is so loud in this. And it's like, it's kind of like early 2000s, like dance music.
Okay.
It's awesome. And it's like, you wouldn't think like with tennis, you're like, does this work? But I think it's awesome. It's great. I think it's one of his best scores that he's done in a while. And over the credits, he actually sings, which is cool to hear him still singing too. Shout out to Nine Inch Nails, because they're not. I don't think they're really doing much anymore as that band. But yeah, so really everything about this. I mean, I don't have anything in particular, but cinematography is great.
We can talk about it a little more when.
Yeah, you're gonna watch it soon, right?
Yeah,
I know you said you wanted to.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out. So, and then we can spoil it together and talk a little more.
Yeah, we should, because it's what I want to say is like, because it's about tennis, and the like relationship with the three of them is every scene where they are playing tennis has such a deeper meaning to it than just tennis. Like they really do a good job with that, and like basically the way they play tennis with each other goes in correlation to how the three of them are in that particular time, because it jumps around time a lot too.
Gotcha. Okay.
But never like confusing. But yeah, really good. Yeah, we can talk about it more if you watch it soon.
Yeah, cool.
So that's it. What about you?
Right. Well, just a couple of things I'm going to touch on. So I realized, it just dawned on me this week, I never finished The Boys season 3.
Oh.
I was like, wait, season 4 is coming. So I just want to mention,
man, that show is so good.
Yeah, and anyway, so I am kind of trying to catch up on that so that when season 4,
so you haven't finished season 3 still?
Still not seen it, but I started not rewatching. I don't want to say, like, I picked up where I left off, right? So,
season 3 is Soldier Boy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't want to spoil anything, but just like the character that's in it. Okay, yeah.
Then just want to touch on, tried to watch Nikki Glazer's stand-up.
Who is this? I'm not familiar with this person.
Only reason is everyone was saying her parts of the Tom Brady roast, which I did not watch, were like some of the best stuff. And then I heard a few people mention like her new stand-up, which just came out on Max.
Okay.
Is also really good. So I was like, well, let me check it out. And I don't know, to me it was not like, it was like just saying, was not, there was some things, but like in general just felt like she was trying to say the most abrasive things to get to be like that, like out there. And I was like, you're just trying to be just trying to press buttons just to press buttons, and like I guess maybe
there are certain
there's people that like that maybe,
yeah.
but like and maybe the stuff she did on the Tom Brady roast might have been really good. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But this particular one, I was like, it's just. So I didn't finish it. Like I was just like, because I was like, this is not funny. Most of this is just offensive in general. And like, I'm not the kind of, I'm just like just stupid and offensive type stuff. And it's like, and I'm not like, I don't get offended in general. Like I like that kind of stuff if it's done well,
for sure.
But yeah,
we always talk about that. Like even with shows, like we were praising some shows recently to where, and speaking of The Boys, they do such a good job with this where they make fun of everyone, like South Park, kind of.
Yeah, and South Park is a good example of that.
Yeah, but like The Boys does it really well, especially like with politics, because there is a lot of that in the show, and they make fun of everyone that has to do with politics, and if you do it
smart,
exactly, it's good, and they do.
Funny. Yeah, and so you
not just zero in on what, like just make fun of everyone.
Yep.
It's way better that way anyway. So
yeah, because everyone's got things.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's no perfect angle. No. There's no perfect. So yeah. Anyway, I just want to say I didn't care for it. So.
Okay.
And then I saw the movie If.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I forgot this came out.
Yeah, Kirsten and I went and saw it the other night.
How was it?
It was good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really charming.
This is John Krasinski.
John Krasinski directing and written.
He also stars, though.
He's also, I wouldn't say stars.
Oh, okay.
He's not.
He's not in it. He's
not the lead. He's in it, but he's not the lead. He's like the main character's dad, the girl.
Okay.
So he's kind of like a side character, because then the other co-lead besides her, the 12-year-old girl, is Ryan Reynolds,
right?
And he is in it a lot more.
Cool.
But
and then Steve Carell's in it, right?
Yeah, and Steve Carell's in it a lot as
he's the voice.
He's the voice of the giant purple fuzzy thing.
Okay, that's cool.
So, and you can tell it's him. Like,
yeah, I'm sure. It's like
he actually sounds a lot like Gru.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like Despicable Me. Yeah.
Like, it's like you're like, yeah, it's the voice.
Okay,
but no, I thought it was really good, really sweet, charming.
So is it actually? Because I've heard mixed things about like, not like if it's good or bad, but like who's it for? Oh. Like because it has. I've heard it has like some more adult things in it too, and not just kid stuff.
Yes, that's true. It's definitely, I think, honestly, Kirsten's like the perfect. Like I think it's like right at that like where you're in between. It's like older kid and preteen kind of age is probably like your target audience in general. But it's smart enough and good enough story that I think younger kids would, because honestly the theater was full. There was a lot of younger kids, and there was, which is always actually kind of fun to be in the theater, because like kids like that, they'll just laugh.
Oh, definitely.
And like, and it's just kind of cute to hear them laughing at silly, stupid stuff on screen.
Yeah.
And they just like are bolted out in the middle of the theater. But, and so there was some of that stuff, because there's just because especially some of the characters are kind of goofy and can do stupid things that, but then, the overall story was good and touching, and just just like a little bit of something to kind of learn there a little bit, so
I heard that Giacchino does the score for this movie, and I heard he does like a little bit of like, not the same but similar to the movie Up, which is like some of the best music ever. Did you hear anything similar to that in the movie?
That's interesting.
Or maybe I'm thinking of something else. Let me see. I believe he's the one that did this movie.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him.
He's done a ton of stuff, but
yeah,
how good Up is in general, and the music especially.
Yes, yeah, for sure. I do remember thinking there was a few times where like I was like, oh, it kind of aware of the score, but like in a good way. Like I was like, oh, this is nice, and But,
okay, but not
but like I
really
don't know,
stand out.
I don't know if I remember.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of like it's been a while since I've watched Up, so
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know. Fleabag, Phoebe Waller-Bridge is in it too.
she's one of the voices. Yeah,
Oh, so she's okay. Gotcha.
yeah. There's I think a handful of famous people just doing voices.
Oh, what am I doing? I gotta go all cast.
Mm-hmm.
I've done this so much recently. Yep. Michael Giacchino. Cool. Yeah, he's man, yeah, he's done so much, but yeah. I definitely want to watch this movie. It's yeah, it seems interesting.
Yeah, it's it's interesting.
Does it seem like something they're trying to make a franchise out of? Like are they setting it up? No.
No.
Okay.
I would say no. I don't think that. I mean, I'm not saying there's ways you could make a sequel if you wanted to or something of it.
But it's a good like
No,
ending.
it's pretty much
Okay,
it's
cool.
It's definitely, I would say, a little bit there's a little mix in there of like kind of coming like age out of childhood stuff, like again like thinking like end of Toy Story 3.
Oh,
Man.
like
that kind of stuff, like where you're just kind of like not quite as emotional as that movie was at that moment,
yeah.
but like at the same time still just like that, around that age of a kid, just kind of just like in that phasing out of childhood and phasing into teens, which is like pre-adulthood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like that's where the main character lives and kind of like the general plot story stuff. But like I said, like I think younger and then of course older, and then obviously parents that can relate to that. I think there's stuff there, but yeah, anyway, it was good, and it was definitely but it's also not like it was, it's still like a kid's movie. So
yeah, of course. How's well, okay, I was gonna say John Krasinski directing, but he did direct something already. He did only the first Quiet Place, right? He directed. I don't think he did the second one.
Yeah, I know he did the first one. Yeah, I'm not sure if he did, but
Say so.
So he's not.
Guess
like
he's
his
done
first
it.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was gonna ask you how he did. Like with this, it seemed good.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about because this is another thing wild about this movie. So score, I know it's good because it's Giacchino.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who the cinematographer is?
No, I didn't look it up, but it looked nice.
Janusz Kaminski, which looks like Steven Spielberg's cinematographer, which is insane.
Well, it was I think it did have Amblin, the Amblin like Entertainment or whatever like logo at the beginning of it, which means it was his production.
Okay.
That produced it.
Yeah, he's been Spielberg's cinematographer since '93.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like wow, Minority Report, Saving Private Ryan.
Now that you say that, it did have a little bit of like the Amblin type of That's actually make a lot of sense. Like if the cinematographer is the same, that makes a lot of sense.
Cool.
It kind of has that. Yeah,
that's a big deal to get.
Yeah,
him involved too. Like that's.
Well, I mean, that means probably Spielberg's an executive producer on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because if it's Amblin Entertainment, then.
But also, the budget for this movie had to have been very high.
Well, I mean, yes, and from like it was just a bunch of voicing for most of the.
Yeah, that's not quite as.
And then location wise, they kept it pretty simple.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
Awesome.
All
yeah,
right.
I definitely want to check it out.
Mm-hmm. Well, we both watched the movie that the other one needs to check out. So.
Well, there we go. We can maybe talk about. I don't know. That just came out. That's just came out
be a while. This past weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
No, I know, but I'm
not gonna go see it in theaters.
But we can talk about it a little more in a few weeks to a month, whenever it comes out VOD, and you can watch it.
If it's that quick, I don't know. We'll see.
It depends on how much life it has in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kids' movies. They're hit or miss sometimes. Like either they catch on and then they have a lot of leg and they're just on there for a while, and then other ones just sync and and they
I
just
know.
put it on video as quick as possible, or video on demand.
VOD.
Yeah.
It's always VOD first, and then
Streaming.
yeah, and then streaming. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about Sugar finale.
Or we're just gonna talk about the whole
I
season.
think we can
pretty
talk
much.
about everything,
Yeah.
but like, we got to the end. So
Mhm.
spoilers for Sugar season
season.
1. Don't know if there's gonna be a season 2.
Oh, they haven't said anything.
No, I haven't seen anything, but they definitely left
Oh
it
yeah.
open, and I would say not in a bad way.
No.
Open ended that they could make a season 2 if they wanted to.
Yeah. No, the way they ended it was really good.
Mhm.
I thought it was done
Yeah.
really well. Especially obviously the line that I was talking about that he
Yes.
says at the end was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are your thoughts on Sugar?
Oh, overall, I think I kept liking it more as it went.
Yeah.
Because when it started, I was like, yeah, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then as it went, like I really got into it more and more.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course we talked about last week the big twist in episode 6.
Yep.
And then I would say those final 3, 6, 7, and 8 was like really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I waited and then just watched those last 3 like all in one sitting. Or at least the last 2, I should say. Yeah, because I stopped at 6. But yeah, I thought it was great. Like I've mentioned before, I think it's just a great mix of that old kind of Hollywood film noir mixed with the kind of more modern feel. And obviously the mixing in of like the old films. But like you talked about, like him doing the voiceover is very old school, detective kind of narration. There's some stuff at the end that I was like, did not realize it was going to get this dark. Like I knew there was because of how the
subject matter, yeah.
Right, but like the case that he's working, like I knew there was some very sketchy stuff going on, but didn't realize it was going to get that dark. So. Yeah, but no, it was great. I hope there's a season 2. And Colin Farrell is so good in this.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
Yeah. I hate to just say and that, but I mean pretty much like that was I thought it was really good. And like you said, I think the twist is it's crazy, and then you're like, oh, they're aliens, and then
you explained it really well last week, where you said like the twist works, and it is very like to pivot in that way is very bold to do, but they execute it really well.
Yeah. But because like I said, like we talked about last week, that's not what the show was about. It wasn't like this mystery box thing. And you're like, what do we, and then they finally do a reveal. It's like, no, it was this other show that was really good. And then all of a sudden they just reveal it totally unexpected.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But then, then that was the last couple episodes of just like how that stuff plays out, how he wraps up the case and figures out, puts the pieces together and gets, figures things out. And of course then again, spoilers.
Yeah.
But like, and then the twist at the end.
Yeah.
Where he realizes here's something he missed. Or he's like, there's still something I'm not quite, I don't have. Even though he had found the kidnapped girl and got her back to the family. And of course, the whole thing where he's like, she's your daughter, isn't she? She's not. Yeah. Which he's like, I don't care. I just like, So like, there was even a twist there. But he, knowing that there was still something he missed, and then finding out that his one co-worker, so to speak, whatever you want to call it, was actually the one that was also there when all this bad torturing of young women was happening, and that he almost cultivated it, but just about he was like just observing, and then realizing that he's probably the one that even took his sister.
That's the biggest thing.
And then you're like, oh my gosh.
His sugar sister. Yeah. And it's I mean, it's very unpredictable, like seeing it, but I thought it was a really awesome scene. Like actually, when you see them like on their planet, because like I was not expecting that at all, and it was cool. And seeing they show the shot of, I'm assuming it's his sister there. Yeah, right. Because then that's before he finds it in the closet, the outfit she was wearing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also cool when they do those. They would do that transition where they had like whatever it was in the sky. And then it would like cut to like Earth where he was at, and it would be like birds.
Yes.
Like floating in like above him. Stuff like that. They just.
You know what though? I like that they did that. Straight rip off of True Detective though, season 1.
Oh yeah,
which I know you haven't seen yet, but yeah, they do something very cool like that and very similar to that in the sky. Yeah.
All right. But yeah, it just how the stuff plays out in the end was good and kind of like, but then of course, realizing that he's like, well, if his one guy doesn't leave, so he's like, I guess I don't have to leave either, and so to kind of leave it as like these two guys stay on the planet Earth,
and it's like implied, we don't see it, but everyone else did leave.
That's kind of how it's implied, but right, like if for whatever reason one of the other people show up on season 2, and you're like, they could easily be like, well, I didn't get on either.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, they don't like really show them all like leave.
I would love to see that process because it's like, how do they get there? All they say is like, oh yeah, we're leaving. I'd like to know how they get.
You're right. Like, it's kind of like, it's pretty fun to see, but at the same time, like the way they portray it in the story, I think it's kind of like neat that it's just like, hey, they don't. It's like we don't focus on that because that's not the important part. It's like, and I think that's the other reason why that works is like the sci-fi-ness is not what's important to the story. It's just like this, like almost like a. I want to say like a skin on it, because I think it's because it affects it more than that, because it does like. They do have a little bit of powers different. Like there's things that are different.
No, the show's ultimately about humanity, though. I mean,
right.
That's the biggest thing with this, in general, and how, especially his, what'd you call him, his coworker?
Yeah,
I mean, we'll call him that. How he is, and how both of them have changed the longer they've been on Earth, in different ways. But it was interesting to see that as well. How different they are, not necessarily changing to be more like humans, but just changing in a specific way. That was cool.
Yeah,
I like how they portrayed that at the end. I had a question for you that I'm wondering, are you like familiar with who all is involved with the show?
No,
like director wise,
I haven't looked anything up.
Okay, because there's 2 people from the Vince Gilligan universe in this show.
Okay.
And I wonder if anyone from Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul is involved in this show. Because we get Skylar.
That's true. Yeah. She's
not in a lot, but
she's the actress.
I forget the actress's name, but we get her. But then... is it her husband, or we'll say the main girl's dad?
Okay.
Not the grandfather.
Yeah.
The dad. He was in Better Call Saul pretty heavily. Right. He was one of the main
other attorney. Like,
yes. Yeah.
At the law firm.
Yeah, so it was interesting. I mean, it was cool seeing them in this, but just wondering, like, that's kind of a coincidence.
Well, it's not. Like, a lot of times if you worked with certain actors and then you're like, hey, it would be perfect for this. And then,
True.
And then they like, hey, why don't you come audition for this? And then because it's not normally, especially if in this case, if they might just be writers or whatever they are. But, they're going to recommend people, and then if it works out, because everyone else likes them for it too, then it works out, right? But like, but yeah, that's cool. That's interesting to know. Yeah.
I also just really liked Sugar and Melanie's relationship in this show.
Yeah.
Was really good. And I think it's in the final episode. Yes, it is. I think the scene was really beautiful of when Sugar holds Melanie's hands and his eyes change. It was like right before he leaves.
He's like, you're not supposed to tell you this or show you this.
Yeah, and it's not even like, well, his eyes change a little bit, but it's also like, not only that she sees that, but the way they do it to where it's like, she definitely feels, because or else he wouldn't need to hold her hand as well and like feel how different he actually is, not just that, so I thought that was a great way for them to like say goodbye because they went through so much this season together.
Yeah, and all along they had like their relationship is nice because they're just like a really genuine caring for each other.
Yes.
And respect of each other and like love for each other, even in like maybe misdirected early, like as romantic love, but like
that was only the beginning where she was like she wanted to
but like that sometimes, but then like as it matured, their friendship or whatever, then it was just like a deep kind of friendship love for each other. I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
because again, you don't get that all the time.
No,
on TV.
And she was great too. I'm trying to remember what else she's from besides The Office.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Actress. But yeah, she was good too.
Which is funny because like that she's playing like very, and she does great as comedian kind of or comedy stuff, and so, but yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's. I'm trying to think. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about it last week too, but
yeah, true.
Definitely check it out if you. Of course, I hope you didn't just listen to all the spoilers and then go check it out, but like. For sure.
I know. I was saying going into it, I wish I didn't even know there was a twist at all.
Right.
Going into the show.
Same. It's like the only reason I knew is because of different podcasts talking about it. And the same thing, they didn't tell you what it was.
No, they were like, just wait. And it's like, it would have been even better if you just didn't know anything.
Yeah. And
you get to the end of episode 6, like that would be wild to just see that. But, oh well, it was still good.
Yeah. All right, let's get into Dark Matter. Episode 3.
Episode 3, yeah.
Yeah. So for episode 3, Leighton and Amanda show Jason his groundbreaking invention. And then Danielle and Jason number 2 throw a dinner party.
I had to know about this because I did read the episode description and it's just Jason 2.
Yeah.
So that's what they're calling evil Jason?
Yeah. We were referring to him as last week. Yeah. We referred to him as evil Jason, but
whatever.
I mean, because maybe he's not evil. We just
we don't know.
We don't know what the bigger
picture is. He's just misunderstood.
He's just misunderstood. So, just pulse. How you feeling about it now? You've watched 3 episodes.
I like it more.
Yeah. Okay.
Still don't like his performance.
Okay.
That hasn't really changed much. Everyone else is great in this show, though.
Yep.
Yeah, this is like, what did I say? There was like 9. It's a weird number. I think there's 9 total for this season. So we're already a third.
This is the end of first act.
There you go.
Kind of feels like it too.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because you get through. I just don't want to pull the glass off the table.
Yeah, I know that'd be bad.
You get through. You kind of get through. They kind of explain a lot of stuff in this episode because they have to explain it to him because he's not the one that invented it, but his doppelganger. But they think it's right.
Yes.
So like, or doppelganger, his other. Whatever. Not doppelganger is not the right word for it, but he's
Jason too.
Yeah, Jason is the one that actually invented it. But yeah, he there's the they have to explain it to him, so then they kind of explain it to us, right? Like what got invented and how it kind of worked. So that's kind of here, and then it really seems like it, because then again, spoilers for this episode, but at the end, he and the other lady, Amanda and Jason, end up in the box just to get away, and then that kind of really kicks on. And what I was gonna say is like, I like it a little bit better, but then the end of that, I was like, oh, I'm ready for the next episode, because I'm like, well, let's go, because like now they're actually jumping into the box, and who knows where they're going. So
I would say, since you mentioned that, I really like the way the episode ends, where you actually see the inside of it, just the endless hallway. Thought that was really cool visual. Yeah.
So anyway, so I think.
So really, it is 3 episodes set up. So what I was saying about they should have released all 3.
Yeah, I think so.
That would have been better.
I think it would have made for a stronger, but whatever. I don't
know.
Like I said, they might have data on most people don't watch. Yeah. And a lot of people get around to watching something after there's a few episodes anyway, and so they're I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, so.
Yeah, you didn't say you were kind of talking about it, but overall, you also are liking it more now.
This I was still intrigued. It was like this kept, and then at the end, I was like, oh, let's go.
Yes,
I want to watch the next episode. And that's, to me, that's the general litmus test of if I get to an episode, and I'm like, oh, if I want to watch the next one, if there was one, then
Yeah, it's just at the end of episode 1 and 2, I didn't really feel that way though. Is the issue.
Not as strong for sure. 1, it's kind of like, that's what I'm always like, well, I'm going to give something more than 1 episode anyway. And then because I knew we had 2, I was just rolled right into 2. And then at the end of 2, I was like, okay, but you're right. I wasn't dying to watch the next episode, but not putting it off. I think it was interesting enough that I was like, okay, let's see where this is going. And then, but like I said, again, end of episode 3, I was like, okay, let's, this is getting interesting.
Yes, it is.
All right. So what, anything else you want to, any specific things you want to talk about?
I can't really, I don't really understand it yet, but the whole decoherence theory is interesting that they kept mentioning this episode.
Yeah.
Can't really wrap my head around it yet though, but it has to do with what happens whenever you use the box, I believe is what they were talking about. Right?
Yeah. So were you talking about isn't that where they're because of why they take the drug?
Does it have to do with that?
I thought. Well, no, it's so that you can be. Wait, it's it helps turn off a certain part of your brain so that you actually can travel.
Oh,
because it's
and that's what they were calling okay.
I think at least how I was understanding it, because I think the
No, I remember them saying that where they do have to.
Because it's like
you do have to take
basically the theory is you really can be in all these. You're in a superposition, right? In the box, but the only reason it doesn't work without the drug is because your brain can't comprehend it. So they have to use the drug to.
That makes sense.
To trigger that, so that then your brain can accept what's happening, and then that's why you can move into the other dimensions or whatever.
No, you're right. Then that's the decoherence. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's how I understand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, the box is such a crazy thing. We're talking about the box. I don't understand completely why it ended up chopping that lady's fingers off.
That was weird.
I mean, it was kind of like, I mean, yeah, I get it that it's like a heavy door, but like it seemed like it was only moved if you pushed it. Like it wasn't like it was like.
Also, it didn't like shut really fast.
No. So like, yeah, why did she move her hands? I don't know. That was just one of those little things. I was like, that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
how did you feel about our main guy this episode?
I mean, it's still like he's not like bothering me majorly, but I would say like he's probably
he's still the weakest.
He's the weakest of like the lead
saying.
people. Yeah. I would agree. But yeah, he didn't bother me, especially in the main timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason too is there, like that stuff. Like I did find it interesting and clever the ways he was kind of working around, because he finds out they're having this dinner party and he's like, oh crap, I need to figure out who's going to be there. And so he's like kind of subtly interrogating his son and then like looking them up on social media and doing
he did a lot of
research so that he could like, and then in the end he like kills it. Like he's like, and you just kind of it's interesting to see this guy who's like the confident, successful version of the same person,
mm-hmm.
this Jason, versus the other Jason who's like, more the family guy, and just like, not that he's not confident, but he's just like not as aggressive, I guess is a better way to say it, about things. Because like in, even the example of like, right, he has his son just run the red light or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of like slowing down at the yellow light, I mean, instead of like slowing down, like, which is what we saw before. And it's just like that, the different perspective outlook on life, and how even just that's a simple example of like their approach to life varying enough that like how the one Jason ends up down this path of inventing this crazy thing and then having this, multi-million-dollar company or whatever, or obviously being part of it and stuff, but then also, doing some probably illegal things or borderline illegal things to get there.
Probably.
Versus the other guy, our main guy, and he's like just a serious man.
A serious man.
Because also a physics professor.
Yep.
Teaching Schrodinger's cat, like, and which is funny because
quantum theory.
We are just watching a Serious Man movie. So had it twice in 1 week. But,
it was similar. It was like the movie and then the first episode of Dark Matter, writing all that stuff on the chalkboard. Very similar.
Anyway, but like, just your average guy with a job and just trying to support his family and do whatever, like, and just be a decent human being, not trying to change the world, just trying to make an honest living, that's kind of our main guy. I think it's good. The other thing I thought was really well done in this episode was when our main Jason is in, let's say, the darker timeline, and he's being interrogated, and they cut back and forth multiple times from that to like the dinner party, whereas our Jason 2 is kind of navigating that and kind of doing really good and killing it at that, right? Like, and so it's kind of like they kept the two sides of those guys and like where they're at, and I just thought it was a good example of that, kind of like the cutting back and forth there, and that was done well.
Yeah, and they don't do it every time, but they do that sound effect when goes to the other person, but not every time, because like that scene you talked about,
they didn't do it every time because they were cutting back and forth a lot.
Right.
Yeah, but they do that transition where it's like a little snap. Yeah, but that's all they do. It's just a cut and that noise, which is like goes to show you like how little,
you don't need
you
much.
don't need a much. Yeah.
No,
And
I actually like. I mean, this is fine the way they did it in this too, but I actually like in the beginning of Westworld. I thought it was the best way they did it, where they changed the aspect ratio,
oh yeah.
and that's all they did. So
And then and spoilers for Westworld, like you don't necessarily even notice that
yeah,
the first time watching.
Exactly.
That you're like, oh, that's the
It's-
stuff that's in the
it's cool. Yeah,
simulation or not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And that's the stuff that was in the past and this stuff is not. And
yeah.
yeah. But yeah.
Do you just every time I hear them say the box? Do you remember that old song called The Box?
Box. Yeah, what was that?
I don't know because
This one's called The Box.
there you go. Okay,
Yeah,
because
was that,
I don't remember specifically, but I remember you and Micah both always saying this song is called The Box.
Yeah. It was either MXPX or
Oh, I would have heard if it was MXPX.
then it might have been, was it Blenderhead or
I remember listening to them a little bit too, because I listened to all the CDs
Yeah.
you guys had.
yeah. It was one of those like punk.
Okay.
It was definitely one of those like Christian punk
Yeah.
bands on Tooth and Nail that or Solid State maybe when they branched out, but it made multiple.
So they actually started the song with saying that, and then they go into it.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
So that's still in my head because every time they said the box in this show, that's what I think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to listen to that song.
We'll have to, insert track here now.
Yeah, probably could. It's such an old song. You probably won't get demonetized or anything.
You won't get
flagged.
We'll get
Probably not.
It's such obscure
Yeah.
track. So what do you think? What do you got any notes on this?
That's pretty much it on my notes that I had.
Yeah, so one other thing I was just looking at a real last note that I had before.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it took Jason 1 or main Jason too long to figure out that he should just like play along.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But I mean, I guess he's just
His mindset's very different than the other.
Yeah,
Jason.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, and what we were just talking about, like his mindset's very different. Mentally, he's in a different place, and he's just so confused and so thrown off by everything. And then, because then even when he has, of course, in this episode, almost the beginning, right? Like, that lady breaks in, and then they shoot Jennifer Connelly's character in the head, and then take him back to the compound or whatever. And yeah,
that was in the second episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
can't remember where that line was. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, come on, dude. It took you a while to figure that out, but
yeah.
Anyway, good.
I just cause I haven't seen anything about the next episode, but I'm hoping we'll see other versions of the world, which I imagine we will, because just by going from the cover, there's it's not just only two Jasons.
Yep.
So I want to see different. So I'm hoping that's where they're going next.
Yeah. Well, so that was exactly what I was going to ask you. So where do you think we're going?
Okay, there you go. That's
well, yeah.
hopefully
so
that's
what do you think that closing shot was? The the ending shot of like just that long haul.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
You think is that like the limbo space?
Yeah, I mean, because the problem is that that'd be very similar to a lot of other movies that are or shows and movies that are like this, that have this kind of thing. This concept is you have this like never-ending hallway, let's say, and you can kind of just like branch off wherever you want and like open a door or like a portal or something, and you're in a different,
Right.
and there's just basically infinite of them, essentially. And as cool as that is, it's like we've had a lot of movies and shows that have done that, and the way they're going about the specifics in the show, even though the premise isn't very original, but the way they're going about it, like we've talked about before, I think is really good and unique. So I'm hoping they'll continue with that, with how they kind of travel.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Because it did seem, I mean, to me, like the obvious thing was it was just like a long hall with probably a bunch of doors, and I was like, oh, this is going to be the classic thing.
Exactly. I'm just hoping it's a little more than that, or just
and maybe there will be. I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I guess, do we think Jason 2? Well, that's probably why they have them numbered, because there's going to be a Jason 3 and a Jason 4, so you can't go evil.
You can't just say evil.
You can't good and evil.
There we go. So we're going to get Jason 3 next week.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So Jason 2, though, what do you think is going to play out there? Do you think she's going to figure out, at least the wife or the kid's going to figure out, like...
Oh, eventually, yeah. I mean, I don't...
Just, like, be like, wait, you're not...
Yeah.
What is going on here? Yeah.
Is her name Danielle or Daniela? It's either one of those. Jennifer Connelly.
Daniela.
Okay. That was one thing. She didn't have a whole lot in this episode.
No, she didn't. Just those dinners.
It was just, and then them hanging out afterwards. But yeah.
But she had the line.
She had the line, yeah.
I mean, can't blame the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's still.
I would say, so is that I'm getting mixed up. Which one was shot of her? Which one got killed?
For the one that was not married. So Jason 1 was around her. Because remember, he just finds her at the art gallery, and then they go back to her place, and that's Jimmy Simpson's.
I don't remember his character's name.
Jimmy Simpson's character in the show is there, and then he leaves, and it's just the two of them there.
Okay. So she's the one okay.
That's the one that got shot.
Because
she's the long-haired version.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. She looks better with the long hair.
She does look better with the long hair. I agree. But
it's
like,
unfortunate when they killed
the shorter hair one is like more the mom. Like,
no, yeah, that's true. That makes sense.
But I'm sure she'll be back, because I'm sure she's going to be in some of these.
It's going to be Daniela 2 and 3.
Yes, Daniela
4. Yeah.
Give us all the Danielas.
Josh wants 100.
I mean, if you're gonna multiply,
yeah.
I mean, you want to go with the fine specimen.
Yeah.
The clone. You're gonna clone.
Yeah, true. I mean, you don't want to just clone anyone.
No,
I agree.
Well, I don't think I really have any other specifics to talk about this episode.
I don't either.
But it was a good lead into, and hopefully we get some little crazier stuff next week.
Yeah, I'm hoping, like you said, it makes sense. We're in Act 2 now. It's going to be way more.
Yeah, things should be ramping up. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think there should be more versions of Jennifer Connelly? Let us know. Email us at feedback@screentimepod.com, or leave a comment in YouTube, or DM us on Instagram. If you'd like, you can follow me at jyoungbar.
And I'm at Jered Youngbar.
All right. And we'll talk to you guys next week.